Hey there, Dave Keller here with Market Misbehavior. Sorry for going a little casual here, but I just got back from a bike ride and was inspired as I was riding around to record a quick video. We live outside of Seattle, right out in the hills. They call it the foothills, leading up to the Cascade Mountains. So we're out in the rural areas. We've got a lot of horse farms around us. It's pretty laid back, pretty quiet. It's really, really pretty, but stunning nature with mountains all around us. We have the Cascade Mountains to the east and the Olympic Mountains out to the west. And we actually live right along what's called the Pipeline Trail. So it actually it's a big pipeline that brings about 30% of Seattle's drinking water from up in the mountains all the way down into Seattle. And we live sort of right off of our backyard. So a lot of times I will get the bright idea to take my bike out there and start riding around. But if you've been to this area of the country, the Pacific Northwest, you probably know it is super, super hilly. So I learned to ride my bike, or I bought this bike and got comfortable with it a couple years ago when we lived outside of Cleveland, Ohio. And if you've been to Cleveland, you know it's pretty much flat and there aren't a lot of hills and roads are pretty much dead straight, and it's like a big grid in the Midwest and pretty easy. So I feel like riding around Cleveland, I don't think I shifted gears more than maybe 2 or 3 times, right, on average on a bike ride. And it was just when I'm getting started, I might, go down a couple gears and get going, and then I'd sort of kick up and I'd be able to just do that. And I can't imagine there are any, real elevation changes the whole time. We move out here and I swear I'm shifting my gears about every 10 seconds. The conditions change. It's a huge uphill, 30% uphill, then it's a 40% downhill, and you're shooting down at 30 miles an hour. There are long grinding roads kind of winding around through the trees. There are rare, flat levels where you just sort of relax and take a breather, but it's a lot more volatile. I was realizing as I'm riding around and cursing myself for picking a certain route that involves a huge, painfully slow uphill all the way back to our house. And I was wondering why I had the bright idea to head that way. And I realized how closely this relates to our current investing environment. I feel like a normal bull market that we're all so used to is like riding your bike around Cleveland. Pretty much get a good routine. You kind of know what to expect. You have general idea of where things are headed, and you just have to sort of maintain, right? And sort of get through things. The current market environment, with all the volatility, with all the unexpected moves, with no idea where tomorrow's going to go at any moment, and what changes, all these different conditions that can occur, is more like riding your bike around this area where you have to struggle. There are times when you have to work really hard. There are times when you can ease off a little bit. There are big uphill and downhill moves that happen, and it's almost like you're riding around here with your eyes closed in a lot of ways. There's nothing wrong with this sort of environment, right? Riding your bike around here is actually a great learning experience. And as much as I enjoyed riding my bike around Cleveland, I'm really enjoying it here because you're stretching yourself, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally. You are sort of experiencing a lot of different environments and a lot of different, so many different opportunities to grow as a cyclist, as a human being, just getting more fit, hopefully, over many times I try to do this. So, it's funny, would you think the Cleveland route, the flatter route is easier, certainly was less physically taxing. However, I'm enjoying a great deal the challenges of trying to ride around here. And I think same with investing, right? Bear markets are challenging. They have a lot of volatility. There are a lot of unexpected moves. There's a lot of uncertainty. But at the same time, when I look back at my career, I've grown infinitely more in bear market cycles than in bull market cycles, because that's where you really have to grow and learn and understand. And I feel like the best stories you will have as an investor at the end of your days are looking back at some of these bear market cycles. So if this sort of thinking about investor behavior, decision making, and routines is of interest to you, I hope you'll check out some of the other videos on my Market Misbehavior channel.